Radyo Pilipinas. Radyo Publiko. Radyo Pilipinas. Radyo Publiko. Mahalagang mga balita, napapanahong impormasyon. Kami ang inyong gabay pag may bagyo at sakuna. Serbisyo ng gobyerno kapag may nangangailangan. Mga proyekto ng Pangulo, damang-dama ang pagmamahal niya. Tulay ng mga hinaing, ang problema ng bayan ating lulutasin. Tulay sa himpapawid, tulay ng pagbabago. Radyo Pilipinas, Radyo Publiko ng bagong Pilipinas. Radyo Publiko, Radyo Pilipinas, Radyo Publiko ng bagong Pilipino. Mga proyekto ng Pangulo, damang-dama ang pagmamahal niya. Radyo Pilipinas, Radyo Publiko, ang boses ng Pangulo. Karamay niyo kami, kahit malayo man kami nakakarating. OFW magsasaka, buhay ay iba't iba, san mang lugar ng bansa natin. Tulay ng mga hinaing, ang problema ng bayan ating lulutasin. Tulay sa himpapawid, tulay ng pagbabago. Radyo Pilipinas, Radyo Publiko ng bagong Pilipinas. Radyo Publiko, Radyo Pilipinas, Radyo Publiko ng bagong Pilipino. Mga proyekto ng Pangulo, damang-dama ang pagmamahal niya. Radyo Pilipinas, Radyo Publiko, ang boses ng Pangulo. Radyo Publiko, Radyo Pilipinas, Radyo Publiko, Radyo Pilipinas.
Ito ang Presidential Broadcast Service
Radyo Pilipinas, Radyo Publiko
ng Bagong Pilipinas para sa Bagong Pilipino. Naghahatid ng mahahalagang balita at impormasyon na guugnay ng pamahalaan sa sambayanan. Tulay sa himpapawid ng serbisyo publiko. Radyo Pilipinas, Radyo Publiko, ang boses ng Pangulo. Sa Mega Manila, 738.
Radyo Pilipinas, Radyo Publiko.
Oras sa buong Pilipinas, 6 na minuto makalipas ang alas 3 ng hapon. Isang magandang hapon po sa inyo lahat at welcome po tayo sa ating programang Kalinga Hatid ng Red Cross dito po sa Radyo Pilipinas. Ngayon pong labing-dalawa ng buwan ng Enero, January 12, 2025 at ikalawang linggo na po tayo ngayon sa buwan ng Enero taong 2025. Kamusta po ang bawat isa sa inyo? Inaanyahan namin kayo pakinggan ang ating talakayan hanggang alas 4 po tayo ng hapon dito po sa Radyo Pilipinas, Radyo Publiko, at tayo napapakinggan sa 738 kHz at sa ating iba pang dito napapanood po tayo sa Facebook Live, Facebook page ng Radyo Pilipinas At dito rin po sa Kalinga Hatid, mag-like, share, comment po tayo. At tayo po ay napapanood pa rin sa Digibox, no? For the box sa 43 to 45. Okay, at nais natin pasalamatan ang bumubuo ng ating programa mula sa ating Presidential Communication Office, ang ating Dr. Cesar Chavez, ang ating Direktor, si Sir Dindo Amparo, Fernando Sanga, ang mula sa Presidential Broadcasting Service sa PBS, at syempre ang ating station manager, Sir Alan Alyanigue, at ang iba pa nating kasama, Sir Maki at Sir Ray Sampang. Sa technical side, Sir Oli Lopez at si Ma'am Joy Timidan. Okay? At sa Philippine Red Cross, ang ating Chairman and CEO Richard J. Gordon, kasama ng ating Vice Chairperson, Governor Corazon Alma de Leon, kasama ng ating Secretary General Dr. Gwen Pang at iba pang Board of Governors, kasama ng 100 mahigit nating chapters, nationwide po yan, at ang kanilang mga Board of Directors, Red Cross 143 at Red Cross Youth. Okay? At hindi na natin patatagalin pa, makakasama na natin via Zoom ang ating laging kasama, ang ating Vice Chairperson, Governor Corazon Alma de Leon. Ma'am, pink na pink po tayo, ha?
Yes, yes.
Hanggang
Ah,
floral.
Good afternoon. Nais kong basahin ang message ni retired Chief Justice Hilarion Davide Jr. dahil ang panahon natin din ngayon administrator ng PRC Cebu City Chapter, si Attorney Vera de Jesus Patel. Ang sabi niya, today this blessed and beautiful Sunday, the 12th of January, let us live out this formula for a good day with a love that never dies. One sure way to have a good day is by cleansing our hearts with Jesus, to Jesus and in Jesus. No bitterness, no hatred, no fear, no anger, no jealousy. Enjoy a heart that never hardens, a temper that never rises, a touch that never hurts, a love that never ceases, growing and never dies. Let us make every day of the new year, 2025, a miracle of love that never dies. Thank you very much, the retired Chief Justice Hilarion Davide Jr. At tuloy-tuloy na tayo kasi nangahati ang programa
Yes
natin.
po, opo.
Dalawang ating panauhin. Una
Apo.
muna, na-mention ko na si Attorney Vera de Jesus Patel, Administrator ng PRC Cebu City. Pagkatapos ay si Miss Hansika Bagani, Search Delegate, Australian Red Cross.
Apo.
Tuloy-tuloy na tayo.
Mamaya pa natin makakasama si Australian Red
Yes.
Cross, ma'am.
Pero siguro ang unang tanong, ano nga ba ang preparation na ginagawa ng Philippine Red Cross sa nalalapit na Sinulog Festival sa Cebu? Go ahead, Attorney Vera.
On
Magandang
cam.
hapon po, Gov Cora.
Ayan.
Nakakatuwa po ay makita kayo muli. Magandang hapon, Sir Edison. At
Yes.
sa lahat po na nakikinig ng Kalinga Hatid ng Philippine Red Cross at
Ang daming
ng
background.
Radyo
ninyo.
Pilipinas. Opo. So, yan. Guidance siya ni Chairman Gordon na dapat kapag may operation, na ating namomonitor kung nasaan na yung ating team, saan ba yung ruta ng ating mga gagawing response, saan nakalagay yung mga ating assets na deploy, pati na rin yung mga tao, at
Ayun.
ilan na bang mga pasyente ang na-cater natin. Lahat ng yan ay isa-isahin natin po ngayong hapon dito sa inyong programa. So natanong po ni Gov Cora kung ano daw yung preparasyon ng Philippine Red Cross. As early as last year po, Gov Cora, and Sir Edison, ang Philippine Red Cross ay naghanda na, hindi lamang sa pagmamap ng mga assets na i-deploy natin, kundi inihanda rin natin yung mga tao, yung mga volunteers, sila ba ay handa hindi lamang sa pangangatawan at sa kaisipan, kundi pati na rin yung kanilang skills. Natatandaan pa ba nila yung mga naituro natin? Sila ba ay effective pa? Kaya pa ba nila? Lahat po yan ay ating tiningnan. Siyempre nanawagan po tayo at patuloy na nananawagan sa ating Red Cross 143 volunteers na talaga namang pinapaigting ni Chairman Gordon na huwag nating itigil ang pag-recruit at paghahanap ng mga individual na gustong mag-volunteer po sa atin. At siyempre, yung ating Red Cross Youth Volunteers na sadyang mga maiinit ang dugo. At sinundan po ito ng coordination meeting, iba't ibang coordination meeting sa mga iba't ibang ahensya, magpa-private man o publiko. At syempre yung mapping ng ating resources, saan po ba natin ilalagay? Kung ganito ang resources natin, saan natin yan ilalagay? At hindi rin po natin makakalimutan na magbigay o ipaalam sa publiko kung ano yung mga dapat at hindi dapat gawin upang lubos nating ma-enjoy at maisagawa yung ating faith at yung ating kasiyahan as we celebrate Sinulog 2025.
Yeah. Alam mo, Vera, natutuwa kami na talagang trained ang mga staff for the sinulog, ano. Pero siguro sa mga nanonood o manonood sa atin, ano-ano nga ba ang aktibidades na gaganapin sa Sinulog Festival 2025? Kasi alam natin, well received o talagang well expected ang sinulog at maraming turista, maraming mga Pilipino na sa ibang bayan sa ating bansa ay talaga nagpupunta sa Cebu para sa Sinulog Festival. So siguro ikwento mo muna likely anong magiging activities and will this really happen, itong sinulog?
Opo, Gov Cora. Actually po, nagsimula na tayo noong January 9. Meron tayong tinatawag na Walk with Jesus kung saan ito yung opening salvo. Meron tayong mga dineploy na mga volunteers. Alas 3 pa lang po ng madaling araw ay nandun na tayo sa Basilica para magbigay ng assistance sa mga brothers and sisters in faith natin at sa iba pa pong mga debotos at mga bisita dahil hindi lamang mga taga Cebu ang nandirito ngayon sa probinsya. Ito po ay nagsimula noong Huwebes, January 9, at patuloy po itong ginaganap hanggang next week, ang Novena Masses. Madaling araw at meron din po tayo sa hapon hanggang gabi. At ito po ay sinundan noong January 10, yung pong launching parade para sa Sinulog kung saan tayo rin po ay nag-deploy ng mga volunteers at asset kabilang na yung ating ambulances. At ngayon po, January 12, ngayon, Gov Cora, meron tayong sinulog sa Dakbayan. Ang ating pong mga team ay nasa city center po ngayon dahil ang ating sinulog sa Dakbayan ay kasalukuyang ginaganap na simula ng alas 2 ng hapon ngayon at ini-expect po natin na matatapos ng alas 6 kung ito naman po ay on time na maisasagawa lahat. So meron po mga road closure sa ngayong hapon kung saan dito din makikita yung ating mga volunteers and medical stations pati na mga ambulances. Sa ngayong hapon po, Gov Cora, meron tayong 9 teams na nakadeploy. Ano po? At ito pong 9 teams na ito ay makikita ito sa kahabaan ng MJ Cuenco Avenue simula sa Pope John Paul II hanggang Jorordo Avenue. Meron din tayo sa Del Rosario Street simula sa Osmeña Boulevard hanggang sa Sikatuna. Meron sa Arlandon Street papunta sa kahabaan ng Junqueira Extension, Pelaez Street at syempre Jaco Salen hanggang na po yan sa Cebu City Sports Center. At sunod nga po ngayong January 12, yung sinulog sa Dakbayan. Ito po ay susundan ng Walk with Mary sa January 17. At fluvial procession naman po sa January 18, kasabay ng solemn procession kung saan ang ating team po ay full force. At January 19 po ay yung culmination. At dito na po magaganap yung tinatawag nila na Mardi Gras or Carousel or Grand Parade na matagal na pinagkahihintay ng mga tao dahil mas marami po ngayon ang dadalo, 42 contingents po.
Wow. Well, dapat ipaliwanag natin sa mga nanonood na you will actually mobilize or deploy our 143 volunteers at saka yung ating ambulansya, i-deploy nyo at yung mga assets na mention mo na kasi hindi natin alam kung anong mangyayari sa mga tao na magpa-participate. Baka meron silang magiging problema. And I know, meron kayong first aid station na ilalagay at saan-saan ito matatagpuan para ma-assure natin yung mga sasali na they will be safe because we will make their participation safe because of Red Cross participation. So siguro ikwento mo na gaano karami ine-expect na pupuntan tao kasi hindi lang mga taga Cebu yan. Even they're out of the Visayas region and of course marami ding mga Metro Manila na taga Cebu ay umuwi din yan. So siguro ikwento mo in the past and present, ilan ang mga ilalagay yung masasabi natin, ine-expect nyo yung pupunta, and the likely pupunta para dito sa Sinulog.
Yes po, Gov Cora. So ngayon po, no, nung ngayong taon, tinataya po na lalampas sa 1.5 million ang ating ini-expect na mga tao dahil nga sa ang mga bisita ay manggagaling sa iba't ibang panig ng mundo, hindi lamang po sa Pilipinas. Meron nga pong mga contingent na sasama sa carousel na hindi naman po talaga sila galing sa probinsya ng Cebu. Kung kaya naman po sa direktiba ng ating chairman and CEO Richard Gordon, kanya pong iniutos na dapat mas marami ang i-deploy ng Philippine Red Cross sa ngayong taon kumpara sa ginawa natin noong nakaraang taon. So sa ngayon po, ang ating pong first aid stations ay nagkakaroon ng total na 22 first aid stations po. At ito po ay matatagpuan sa una, Police Station 2. Matatagpuan din po tayo sa Shell Station area, sa Mardi Gras. At meron din po tayong medical station and on-foot patrol sa harap po ng St. Therese College. At magtatayo din po tayo ng first aid stations with welfare desk and on-foot patrol sa harap po ng One Mango Avenue. Meron din po tayo sa harap ng Pure Gold. Meron din po tayo sa tabi ng Iglesia ni Cristo sa Mango Avenue. Sa harap ng Jollibee sa Mango Avenue din po yan. At meron din po sa harap ng University of San Carlos sa kahabaan ng Escario. At meron din po in between City Central Night High School and Abellana. At meron din po tayo across Trans-Asia Building sa May Pier. At meron din po sa May Comelec. At meron din po tayong staging area sa Malacanang sa May Plaza Independencia. At meron din po tayong staging area 4. Katabi lamang po yan ang DSWD. At ito na nga pong itatayo natin na Emergency Medical Unit Type 1 ng Health Service ay itatayo po natin sa Barangay Imos. At ang Incident Command Post po ng Philippine Red Cross ay siya rin po natin itatayo simula po Biyernes hanggang Linggo. Katabi lamang po ng Emergency Medical Unit sa Barangay Imos po yan, Gov Cora. At
Yes.
syempre hindi mawawala yung ating station mismo sa ating chapter sa opisina kasi dadaanan tayo dahil ang sinunog po ay bumalik sa city center ng Cebu. Kaya masyado pong marami ang natutuwa na nandito na ulit yung sinulog sa pinakapuso ng syudad. At syempre po, magtatayo din tayo sa likod ng Police Regional Office at sa likod po ng Pure Gold. Yan po lahat yung ating pong mga station ngayong darating na malaking celebration po ng sinulog.
Yes.
At ini-expect din po natin, Gov Cora, na sa fluvial procession, 2 rescue boats ang ating pong i-deploy. Maliban po sa mga ambulances na meron na tayo ngayon na 5, at meron din tayong strike team na mag-assist sa Cebu chapter. Andiyan po ang PRC Lapu-Lapu Cordova at ang Bogo branch po. At syempre po, hindi mawawala yung ating Red Cross 140 volunteers na atin pong iminap saan sila ilalagay dito sa mga deployment areas natin ngayong paparating na sinunog.
Wow, talagang well prepared ang ating Philippine Red Cross Cebu chapter. Pero siguro gusto nating malaman ano-ano yung kadalasan na nagiging emergencies na natutulungan ng PRC kapag merong Sinulog Festival. Kasi this is not the first time you're doing it. You've been doing this in the past. Pero anong common na mga emergencies na may kahandaan ang Philippine Red Cross?
Ang common emergency po, Gov Cora, na nakikater natin, katulad po ngayong sinulog, simula po nung unang araw ng novena, meron na po tayong total na 83 patients that we have catered as of last night. Hindi pa po kasama yung nakita natin kaninang umaga sa novena at saka ngayon na sinulog sa Dakbayan. Ito po karamihan kapag major case po ay kalimitan ito yung mga chest pain at yung pong loss of consciousness. Sa mga minor cases naman po, ang malimit nating nai-encounter ay yung abrasion, dizziness, nausea, Andiyan po yung mga stomach ache kasi yung iba po hindi kumakain bago umalis ng bahay. Meron din pong chills, elevated blood pressure. Meron din po tayong
High blood.
nakikater. Yes po, tumataas
blood.
bigla yung kanilang BP. Puncture, yung mga nasusugatan po, shortness of breathing, at meron din pong muscle pain at yun po ang cramps. Yan po yung madalas natin na nakikater po na mga cases, emergency cases tuwing operation katulad ng sinulog.
Meron ba kayong coordination with the health centers available para siyempre kailangan dalhin sa ospital o kaya kailangan yung mas maggrabe yung situation? Ano naging karanasan nyo tungkol dito? Sinong mga ahensya nakatulong ninyo para maayos ang pagdiriwang ng sinulog?
Ang ganda pong katanungan yan, Gov. Kasi po sabi ko nga, di ba, nagkakaroon tayo ng coordination meeting. Pero syempre, maliban sa coordination meeting with different government agencies, tayo po ay tinuruan ni Chairman Gordon tsaka ni Secretary Gwen Pang na dapat ang mga chapters, hindi lamang ang Cebu kapag sinulog, ay nagmamap ng mga hospitals. So, minamap natin lahat ng major hospitals na malapit sa areas of deployment at yung hospital na secondary doon sa malapit sa areas of deployment. At tayo po ay nagsiset up din doon ng welfare desk sa mga hospital na yon. Kaya kinukuha natin ang bawat contact number ng hospital na minap natin maliban sa mga volunteer na naka-assign sa bawat hospital na in-identify natin. Pangalawa po, ang Cebu po ay nagpa-practice ng e-referral. Ay, isa po nagdi-dispatch, yung CPDRRM po yung nagdi-dispatch, may e-referral at meron pong fast lane. Pero sabi po nga natin, kung mabilis po ito, mas bilisan pa natin. Kaya yung ating welfare desk sa bawat hospital na namap natin ay nakakatulong at atin nga pong ina-identify muna na kung sakasakaling sa ganitong lugar natin nakita yung pasyente at hindi kinaya ng first aid management lamang, ano yung pinakamalapit na pasilidad na pwede natin siyang itakbo. Meron po tayong communication protocol at syempre po, yung ating pong koordinasyon sa bawat ospital ay atin po talagang masugid na masusing inoobserbahan po. Yung relationship po with the private and public stakeholders ay atin pong maintain. Kasama na dyan yung radio communication protocol.
Speaking of relationship,
Gov.
we
Cora?
already have in our studio
Yan.
our special guest,
Yes.
Miss Hansika Bagani,
Yes.
Search Delegate, Australian Red Cross. But we will first have a break because we really want to spend time with Hansika because we're very much interested about her and the work of Australian Red Cross. Edison, do you want to take an early break or to continue na muna tayo?
We pause for a commercial break and then
Okay.
we're going to get back
And then-
for a few minutes.
But let's already have Attorney Vera De Jesus Patel just join us later
Yeah.
after the interview.
Magstay po
with
siya.
Miss Hansika Bagani.
Mag-stay po si Atty. Vera.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
We
Go ahead.
To get back tayo, commercial break muna tayo. Sir?
Radyo Pilipinas is on Viber. Viber. One tap and swipe. Nandyan na lahat. Receive credible news and information. Pati mga trending topics at videos. Sure na meron dito niyan. Stay on track with Radyo Pilipinas on Viber. Pick up real news. Catch the latest and biggest stories. Search Radyo Pilipinas on Viber and hop in to our community.
This is a public service announcement.
Maging handa sa oras ng sakuna. Para sa iyo at sa iyong pamilya, laging siguruhin. Go Bag ay nakahanda at naglalaman ng mga sumusunod. Ilang pirasong damit, ready-to-eat na pagkain at inuming aabot ng 3 araw. Personal na gamit para sa inyong hygiene. First aid kit kabilang ang alcohol, bandages, gamot sa lagnat, ubo at sipon, pati na rin ang inyong vitamins at maintenance medicines. Maglagay ng pito, flashlight, lighter o posporo. Huwag kalimutan ang mga charger o power bank. At higit sa lahat, isama ang mga importanteng gamit gaya ng inyong mga legal na dokumento, IDs, ATM o passbook, insurance at iba pa. This is a public service announcement from PBS, Presidential Broadcast Service, and Radyo Pilipinas.
Okay, nagbabalik po tayo sa ating ikalawang bahagdan ng ating programa. At syempre, inaanyayahan po namin kayong mag-comment at mag-like and share sa ating Facebook page, Kalinga Hatid. Yan po, at saka sa Radyo Pilipinas. Okay, Gov Cora?
Yes, I am very pleased to invite our delegate, search delegate, Australian Red Cross, Miss Hansika Bagani, as we will talk about the Philippine Red Cross and Australian Red Cross. First, when did you arrive in the Philippines for your particular assignment? May I call you Hansika?
Hi ma'am, good afternoon. Naka-mute, mute. Naka-mute po yata siya.
You're okay now? Go ahead. No, please put your speaker.
Currently, Ma'am Hasika is I think in Aurora.
Oh, you're in the province.
She,
But anyway, just put on have your computer. Just put it on.
Can you hear
yeah,
me now?
it's okay. It's okay.
Okay.
Okay,
Thank you.
Thank you. Sorry about the difficulties there.
No, it's okay. I'm very happy you are in Aurora because Aurora is such a beautiful place. And I used to be a regional director when I was still not with the Red Cross.
You're still in Aurora, Ma'am Hansika?
Actually, no, I'm in Batangas at the moment.
Yung Batangas na.
Batangas.
Okay.
That's also
Yes.
a nice place.
The plan has changed, but I
Yeah.
was also earlier in Kempsor and Albay this week, so that was really lovely to meet the Red Cross chapter staff, the volunteers, and the people there helping.
So maybe there is a new word, surge delegate. Maybe you can explain what it means. So, and your experiences being a surge delegate. Go ahead, Hansika.
Yeah, so being a surge delegate means that I come from Australian Red Cross and I come for a very short period of time. Most surge deployments are about 2 to 3 months, and they're usually people from other Red Cross national societies that can come and help when another national society has had a big disaster or a big emergency and they need extra support. So, all the sister national societies can help. That's what we do as a Red Cross movement, to help each other. And I can come here and support as Philippine Red Cross is doing their emergency operation for people that were affected by the 6 typhoons that hit the country in October and November. So while I'm here for a communications role, I've also been joined by other surge delegates from American Red Cross, from Swiss Red Cross, and from Netherlands Red Cross, who are also supporting Philippine Red Cross with the response to the typhoon emergencies, with their skills in information management and monitoring and evaluation. So I've come as a communications coordinator, which means I can help the Philippine Red Cross and their great team with different types of communications that they need for fund gen, for advocacy, just to keep telling people the story about what Red Cross is doing across the different chapters in their response activities and recovery activities. So a large part of that is about, telling the stories of the people that were affected. They are so grateful to the Red Cross for being there for them. So I was able to go out to some of the chapters and talk to these people that were affected by the typhoons, talk to them about what they lost. A lot of people have lost their homes, they've lost all their possessions, many were injured, and Red Cross has been there from them since the beginning. So, they've been there through the search and rescue, through the evacuation centres. As people start to return home, Red Cross is still there as part of the response and helping people to rebuild their lives. And I'm here to tell some of those stories that can help the response.
Yeah. Well, very, very interesting in terms of your own feedback. But which of the disaster affected areas have you already visited since you arrived? And of course, we're interested when you arrived in the Philippines.
Yeah, so I came to the Philippines at the end of November, which I think was when Typhoon Pepito had just finished, and the response phase of the operation was still going because, as we know, there was 6 typhoons that occurred just within a very short month. So we went from Christine to Leon, Marcy, Nika, Ophel, and Pepito, and they hit a lot of the same areas repeatedly, and almost the whole country was affected. But because of the way the typhoons hit the country, some provinces were affected multiple times. The Philippine Red Cross operation for response and recovery is covering 16 different provinces. So they're the most affected provinces where people really have lost a lot. And I was lucky enough to visit Kamsur and Albay just earlier this week and meet the lovely chapter administrators, their staff, and their volunteers. And they're just, meeting the people who've been affected by the typhoons. You just get to see what a situation they have been in. It's just been absolutely tragic to see that people have lost not only their possessions, but their livelihoods. A lot of the farmers lost their crops, the fisher folk have lost their nets. They really don't have a way to, start moving forward and start rebuilding their lives without the help of the Red Cross. And, Philippine Red Cross has been there through day one at Kamsur. They were doing search and rescue almost before anyone else was there. As soon as, it was safe for them to go on the boat, they were there before anyone else. They were helping people to get to the evacuation centres. And then I saw in Albay the work of the evacuation centres. People were there for quite a long time because from when Christine hit, there were also back-to-back warnings for the rest of the typhoon. So people stayed in the evacuation centres to stay safe. And there they were helped so much with hot meals, water, health checkup, people to talk to at the welfare desks, child-friendly spaces so children had a place to go and feel safe. So important during an emergency. And then I've seen, they're still there for people. People are starting to return to their homes, and the operation is supporting people through giving them cash grants so they can rebuy their clothes and things that they need to repair their home. We're giving non-food items. So that includes things like sleeping kits, hygiene kits, blankets, soaps, kitchen sets, anything that people need to start to, move forward and just start to have a home again.
Well, you really gave a very detailed information about the work that you have done, but I guess we're also interested, who is Miss Hansika Bagani? Because it says here, Surge Delegate, Australian Red Cross. When did you start being a Red Crosser, and which countries have you already covered?
Yeah, so I started with the Red Cross in Australia. So one of the first things I actually did was become a blood donor. And I think blood donation is one of the easiest ways that people can support each other, and through the Red Cross as well. So we're taught about the Red Cross at school, and Australian Red Cross, like the Philippine Red Cross, also has a blood service. So you can go and donate blood, and, that gets transported to the hospitals where, you can literally save the life of people who need it. So mothers, babies, anyone who's had surgery. It's so important, and it's also very easy and very quick way to give your time or give something back to your community. So I started actually off as an Australian Red Cross blood donor. And then about 10 years ago, I joined with the International Federation of the Red Cross and Red Crescent Society, so IFRC, which is the organisation that supports the Red Cross national societies in their country. And since then, I've been involved on and off with the Red Cross, over many years. I'm still a blood donor. So I'm still always donating blood every 3 months when we're allowed to. I don't know if this is the way it works in the Philippines, but in Australia, you're allowed to donate blood every 3 months. and I've worked for Australian Red Cross. So yeah, it's been a great association with the Red Cross for me, because I've seen across the world how they work. I was in Africa with the Red Cross when I started. I was in Botswana supporting with Southern Africa regional office across all the sort of countries in Southern Africa. And yeah, I just seen the similarities. People who join the Red Cross, who support the Red Cross, are passionate, they're dedicated, they are humanitarians.
Sharing the frame in our interview is, of course, our administrator of PRC Cebu City Chapter, Attorney Vera De Jesus Patel. So Patel is, I think, an Indian name also. So I'd like to introduce you to Hansika, because one of the stalwarts of the Philippine Red Cross administrators is Attorney Vera De Jesus Patel, and they're in fact having what we call the Sinulog Festival in Cebu. You have not yet gone to Cebu, because you just arrived in November, and I hope you will not leave the Philippines without visiting Cebu. Perhaps Vera, you can invite her to visit Cebu, not just for the Sinulog, but sometime, so that you will show her the opportunities that you're creating in Cebu. Go ahead and invite Hansika Bagani.
Yes, Govgora. Hi, Hansika. You're very much welcome here in Cebu. And as Govgora said, it's not only for Sinulog. I can make you some Indian dishes.
Wow. That's good. Anyway, we're going back, and we want that the challenges that you encountered in the Philippines. You know, we are an archipelago with 42,000 islands, and it is not easy to navigate. But particularly in disasters, because you're a search delegate, it requires a lot of time, a lot of difficulties that you have to face. But I guess those challenges really make a difference in your work, as as a delegate, as we say it. So, have you had the opportunity to meet the volunteers in those areas that you have visited? And what is your comment about the volunteers? Because we have been really, there's much ado about our interest to have more volunteers, trained volunteers, and working volunteers. What did you find? What was your experience in dealing with the various volunteers that you have met since you arrived? Go
Yeah.
ahead, Hansika.
Yeah, I think there's almost no words to describe the volunteers, because they are so incredible at what they do. It's hard to describe how impressive they are. I've met quite a few of the volunteers, both here at Manila in the headquarters and also at the chapter level in Camp Sir and Albay. And I can say they're just some of the most dedicated and hardworking people I have ever met. I've seen that, you know, they're there even before the disaster, helping people prepare. They're there doing search and rescue. So, you know, sometimes these volunteers, because they're with their local chapter and they're part of the local community, you know, their homes, their families might also be affected by the disaster, but they turn up as well to help others. They think, you know, it's this Red Cross mentality of everyone is equal and everyone needs support who needs it. So I met an amazing volunteer in Albay whose name is Ivan, and he's a health officer and he also works as a nurse. And when Typhoon Christine hit, he just came to the chapter office straight away. What do we need? Where do you need me? What should we start with? And for about a month, he was working in the evacuation center, you know, doing health checks for people, dispensing the medicines, doing hygiene promotion, talking to people about how to stay safe from disease. And that's, you know, day shift. So he was there from 8 a.m. till 5 p.m. He was telling me, and then he would go home and sleep for about 4 hours, and then he would still go and do his night shift at the hospital. And he's also doing research at Bicol University, I think. So he did this for a month. For me personally, I cannot imagine, surviving on 4 hours sleep for that long. But he has this passion, this commitment to the cause. He wants to see people well in his community. And so, yeah, like Monday to Friday for 1 month, he's surviving on 4 hours sleep so he can be there telling people how to stay safe from disease. He's giving them health checkups. He's dispensing medicine. He's treating wounds. He was telling me, there was no dengue after in that area, and because they were very careful with what they were advice that they were giving to people about how to stay safe from dengue, how you need to treat water, and what you need to do in terms of clothing and treating your clothing so people don't have the dengue and all these other waterborne diseases that can be very present in a disaster. And I think a lot of the achievements of the communities, as bad as these typhoons were, is down to the volunteers. People stayed safe from disease because of volunteers. People will recover better because of the support of the volunteers. And yes, I just think anyone that has anything to do with Philippine Red Cross should just be so proud of your volunteers, because they were there day after day, and whatever sacrifices they had to make to be there and support people affected by the disasters, they did it.
Yeah. Our mantra is always first, always ready, always there. And I think this is personified by our administrator, Attorney Vera, because she has been, how long have you been with the Philippine Red Cross, Vera?
Gov, I've been with
Very,
the
very
Philippine
long
Red Cross,
time.
especially in Cebu, for 10 years.
10 years. So,
Yeah.
but the delegates stay only for a short period of time in a particular country, but you leave actually your impressions of what you have seen. And of course, the interface of the local chapters with the foreign delegates, very good, because they learn the skills which otherwise they may not have had. At the same time, the delegates also see how difficult challenges that the Red Crossers in the Philippines have to face. Well, Edison, do you have any question? Go ahead.
Yes, ma'am. What is your questions?
Do you have any question to our delegate, Ms. Hansika Bagani? Because I think this is your first time to be interviewed in our radio program.
Yes, that's the first time.
This is the first time. And we are doing this because we feel we should recognize the volunteers who join us in our society. And we're fortunate that you are together with our in charge of the Cebu chapter, because it's one of the larger chapters. You haven't been to Cebu yet.
No, I haven't been to Cebu.
So
I made friends
I will ask Vera to already invite you, perhaps not here now at in your event, but to really see Cebu, because it's a marvelous city. So Edison, what is up? Meron pa bang tayong papakita? Wala
Yes,
na.
I just want to ask Attorney Vera. Attorney
Yeah.
Vera, medyo kasi 'di ba 1 week ito, yung 1 week celebration for
Sinulog.
this Sinulog.
Yes
Paano mo how your volunteers are going to handle this? Siyempre, merong kasamang yung pagod, kasi yung maghapon ka nga lang na dire-diretso, nakaka-burn up yan eh. Tapos then the next day, magjo-duty na naman siya. And then for the entire week to how do you manage this in Cebu?
Opo, Sir Edison, naiintindihan ko po yung gusto mong sabihin. Tayo po sa Red Cross ay meron tayong mga volunteers. tinatawag na on-call, regular, merong technically trained, highly skilled. At ang Cebu po ay maraming volunteer, lalo na po sa Red Cross Youth. Pero syempre, sabi mo nga, hindi naman araw-araw itong mga maraming volunteers na to ay makakapag-report. So atin pong pinapractice yung rotational duty na tinatawag. Maaga pa, hindi pa nagsisimula ang sinulong, nag-map na po tayo kung sino yung mga nag-commit na magre-render po ng service sa Philippine Red Cross para sa sinulog. Nakamap na po yan bago pa matapos ang taon. Anong araw sila, saan, anong oras, at hanggang kailan. Kung meron man pong humabol beyond the call for volunteer, sila po ay ating backup. Part sila ng strike team. At pangalawa po, sir, sabi nga po ni Chairman Gordon, mga ganito pong mga aktibidades ay faith and humanity at the same time. Kapag ganito ng celebration ng pinag-uusapan, walang nararamdamang pagod ang volunteers ng Philippine Red Cross. Kaya medyo gusto ko pong sabihin na hindi naman po sa sinasabi ko hindi napapagod yung mga volunteers natin. Pero kapag ganito pong mga selebrasyon, ang mga dugo ng mga yan, lalo na yung mga Red Cross Youth, ay buhay na buhay. Minsan pa, tapos na ang event, nagtatanong pa sila, ma'am, ano po ang sunod na operation? At yan po yung isa sa mga asset siguro na masasabi natin na ikinaganda na meron ang Philippine Red Cross.
Well, we don't have that much time. I'm very pleased that Hansika already heard, or she already shared, even though she has just been here for a short time. And I'm also looking forward to meeting you in person in at our Red Cross building.
She's leaving na, ma'am. She's leaving na. So that's why we invited her. She's leaving na the country.
When are you leaving?
I leave at the end of this week. But there will be other surge delegates coming. So
I'll try to catch you up when you're there before you leave, if only to personally meet you. And I felt honored that you were able to attend now. But maybe it is time to end.
Yes.
Edison, let us have the parting words from
Attorney
Vera.
Yes.
And then also
Attorney Maria
the
Del.
challenge that Hansika can say to the Philippine Red Cross. Go ahead.
Attorney, your final message and iba pa mga paanyaya.
Yes po, Sir Edison and Gov Cora.
Yes.
Maliban po sa nananawagan tayo na maging maingat sa darating na selebrasyon, kami po, part po ng ating paghahanda ay i-ensure na meron tayong sapat na stock ng dugo. Dahil po maliban sa ngayon ay lingman, hindi naman po natin hinihingi na may masamang mangyari. Pero ang mga malalaki pong selebrasyon katulad nito ay hindi mawawala yung mga sakuna at saka po yung mga untoward incident or threat na hindi po natin hinihingi. Pero bilang parte nga po ng preparasyon, kailangan hindi lamang deployable assets na tao at property, kundi pati na rin po sufficient na stock ng dugo ay atin pong isaalang-alang. Kaya nananawagan din po kami na kahit po busy ang Philippine Red Cross Cebu Chapter sa sinulog operation, ang ating pong operasyon sa chapter ay tuloy-tuloy po. Meron po tayong continuity. At syempre po, bago natin tapusin itong interview na to, ay ibig ko po lamang ipaalam sa mga deboto at sa mga darating pang bisita na atin pong pangalagaan yung mga sarili natin. Importante po na i-advise yung ating pamilya kung tayo ay lalabas ng bahay, saan tayo pupunta, at kung maaari ay tanggalin lahat ng electrical plug na meron sa bahay ninyo para maiwasan po yung mga sunog na hindi natin inaasahan. Be physically prepared. Kung meron po tayong nararamdaman na hindi maganda sa katawan, mag-stay na lamang po tayo sa bahay at magpahinga para hindi na po natin mahawa yung iba po nating kapatid na gusto rin pong makipagsaya at i-manifest ang kanilang faith dito sa kapistahan ng Santo Niño. At syempre po, importante na alamin kung saan po gaganapin yung iba't ibang activities ng sinulog. Ang Philippine Red Cross po ay meron pong i-share na mapa at ito po ay inyong makikita sa ating pong official FB page. Maaari niyo po yung i-scan ang QR code at makikita ninyo kung saan-saan po ninyong parte ng Cebu City makikita ang Philippine Red Cross. At syempre po, kung tayo ay lalabas, wag po tayong magdadala ng mga bagay na makakaapekto din po ng iba katulad ng mga sharp object at kung ano-ano pa po na maaaring magdulot ng hindi kagandahan sa ibang tao. At ang pinakahuli po, know the emergency numbers. In case of emergency, contact us. Philippine Red Cross Cebu Chapter hotline number 0915-583-9829. Dagang salamat, Dong Cora and Sir Edison.
Thank you very, very much.
Yan.
And of course, we also want to ask Hansika Bagani to give her final words as we thank her as well for joining us in this Kalinga Hatid ng Red Cross. Go ahead, Hansika.
Thank you, Ma'am Cora. It's been a privilege to be here in the Philippines and even for such a short amount of time to see this beautiful country. So I hope I will be back. And I guess my final thoughts are, with the Red Cross volunteers who are doing so much in their local communities, we saw over the typhoon period that they were very committed and sacrificed a lot to continue to be there for their communities. And I think also, for people who are living in the Philippines who know, disasters could come at any moment, at any time. The value of preparing for a disaster is so important. We heard a lot of people were surprised by the level of flooding that happened with Typhoon Christine because the early warning system did not communicate this as well as they could have. So, in preparing for a disaster, definitely, people need to be aware and know, where are your important documents, maintenance medicines, all sorts of things that people will need to evacuate. And this way, people can take resilience from the fact that they will be prepared and Red Cross will be there when possible too. Anything that can help the volunteers is people's individual preparedness as well. So thank you for having me. PRC, it's been so good to be here and to also learn from everyone here about your operations and how you work. And I've been so thankful that I got the opportunity to come here and do what I can to support PRC, who is doing so much to support other people.
Thank you to both of you. I'd like to read our prayer for the nation because I hope that this is something that will remind you of the program we have, Kalinga Hatid ng Red Cross. Lord, let me be the change I want to see, to do with strength and wisdom all that needs to be done and become the hope that I can be. Set me free from my fears and hesitations. Grant me the courage and humility. Fill me with spirit to face the challenge and start the change I long to see. Even if I'm not the light, I can be the spark in faith, service, and communion. Let us start the change we want to see, the change that begins in me. Thank you very, very much for the opportunity for this afternoon, and I hope you all will go back to your country, of course, for Hansika, and to have a very successful sinologue at Attorney Vera. Thank you very much.
Ayan. At
Thank you din po.
thank you very much, Attorney Maria Vera de Jesus at si Ma'am Hansika Bagani. At yan na po ang ating programa Kalinga Hatid ng Red Cross Radyo Pilipinas. Ngayon po, ika-12 ng buwan ng Enero, taong 2025. At susunod na po ang pagbabalita hatid po ni Sir Albert Sebastian. At kasunod po yan ng programa ni Vance Fernandez, Pulso ng Pilipino. Ito po si Edison Enriquez, 5 minuto bago mag alas 4 ng hapon.
We know you're always on the go.